Today we're talking about dry fire training, and before we go into this vlog style dry fire video where we kind of show you the exact behind the scenes of some of our dry fire sessions, we want to say a few things about dry fire training. So number one, dry fire training is not super sexy, which is why I think it's a little bit under talked about, because nobody thinks a plastic pistol is sexy in comparison to holding a rifle, right? However, dry fire training, in our opinion, you can accomplish about 90% of what you need to with dry fire training before you ever step foot on a real range. And one of the reasons I can attest this is because that's actually how I got started in my firearms training. It took about the first 2 years to learn everything I needed to know about the 4 universal rules of firearms safety, all of the core fundamentals of pistol, and I essentially learned how to do all of that through dry fire training in the comfort of our own CrossFit gym before I ever stepped out on the range. And then fast forward 3 years in, I was able to compete in the tactical games because I had already had that foundation. So by the time I went to the range, I already had that safety etiquette in place and that confidence level in my ability to safely and effectively shoot. So dry fire training is amazing. We also hosted a program for the first 3 years of this company where we brought hundreds of people through this dry fire training, and it was really awesome to watch them build their confidence and their skills in a very safe and effective environment before they ever went to the shooting range. So dry fire is a very, very great, very cool training option for you. It's also extremely affordable and you can pretty much do it anywhere. So before we go into this video, you're gonna see in this video that we're training at a CrossFit gym, and this is a common excuse that we hear is like, oh, I don't have access to a CrossFit gym like you guys do. We use our CrossFit gym to train dry fire because it's a convenience that we have access to. Don't use that as an excuse. We're eventually gonna film a series where we show you exactly how to do dry fire in your own home. And we live in a 400 square foot apartment, so if we can make it happen, you can definitely make it happen. So anyways, let's jump into this video. We're gonna show you exactly what we did in this dry fire session, which when we use a CrossFit gym takes us about 2 to 4 hours. And so we really like to cram in our training. This isn't common. You can literally do like 5 to 10 minutes of training per day. This is just because we have the convenience of the space, and so we really want to cram in that opportunity for training. So let's jump into today's dry fire training vlog.
All right, so in this dry fire session, first things first is we have a plan. Pretty much every time we have a dry fire session, I highly recommend that you write a plan out as well. Whenever you have a dry fire session, you just maximize your efficiency. So I had Nate write that down, and while we were getting ready, one of the first things that I wanted to do once everything was set is I want to kind of give Sarah a baseline test with how much information had she retained since her last competition and the last time that we did dry fire. So one of the first things that we did, I just had them go, no instruction, and 5 rounds from the slung position with the rifle into prone. Go. Once she went through that, I had her stay down there, and what I wanted to have her do from the prone position was to take 5 rounds from standing and get the most stable standing position. From the standing position with her dominant shoulder, I had her switch to her non-dominant shoulder. What she's doing and what she kind of likes to try to do is she likes to switch shoulders entirely and also switch hands entirely. So after we ran through the shoulder positions, prone and standing, stable, again, without really giving her any kind of instruction, I tried to give her a little bit and she yelled at me. But from here we are doing the disassembly of the firearm with the bolt carrier group. There she is disassembling this. She kind of gets hung up when the cam pin goes back in. And again, just got to make sure that you do this enough to where you understand the sequence, because there is one right way to put this thing together, and it's really easy to kind of mess it up. Once you get past that point, this is where we kind of jumped into Nate's drills, what he had written down and prepared previously. So this is going to be basically just from the fundamentals, and you just start layering the complexity onto that. So in the beginning, we started doing dry fire with the SIRT pistols. It gives you some good feedback with seeing where the laser is hitting. And then past that point, Nate and her did some ready up drills. After the ready up drills, we did some transitions, just eyes lead, rifle follows, eyes lead, rifle follows, and vice versa. Same thing with the pistol. Just working on manipulating the safety, making sure all your movements are as efficient as they can be. This is where we put the SIRT pistols down, and we started working some reloads with the real pistol. So we got some mags, got some snap caps, started loading those together, started doing some tack reloads, started doing some emergency reloads. And again, all the fundamentals still apply no matter how advanced you think you are. Nobody cares how fast you are. If you're unsafe, your fingers in the trigger, you're flagging people with your muzzle, nobody cares. So go slow and methodical. Make sure that you are doing it perfectly before you advance. That's why, honestly, Sarah's gotten as good as she's gotten so far, because she doesn't let peer pressure get to her. She goes slow enough to make sure that she is doing it correct from the ground up. And then once we did some of the stuff with the pistol, we moved back onto the rifle. And this is one of the areas where she had trouble last time. She just getting down into like urban prone like right side down, urban prone left side down. Just getting into that position, keeping a good buttstock position into your shoulder, and understanding how to get there, like back and forth, comfortably, safely, efficiently, while still keeping good alignment, and make sure that you're not getting your eyes confused, because it's pretty easy if you haven't done it enough to just kind of switch shoulders and then you're trying to use your regular dominant eye, but it's not going to happen. So that was the dry fire session. We covered a lot of ground in that like 3 or 4 hour period. We were there for a long time, but you get so much good training out of that. But just having a plan, first off, working on your weaknesses, not working on your strengths, and just having a good time.